So in our first video, we're going to practice with our Pythagorean theorem. So the Pythagorean theorem is a very important theorem that says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, what's essential when we are looking at the Pythagorean theorem is that this is for right triangles. And so when we talk about a right triangle, that means we're going to have this side c, which is our hypotenuse, which is the longest side of the triangle opposite the 90-degree angle. So when we look at the A and the B, if you notice the A and the B, you can switch, right? So each leg is A or B. That doesn't matter because all we're doing here is adding them up. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared is called the Pythagorean theorem, which holds true for our right triangles. So if I was looking at this question here, notice the x is what I don't know, which is the side opposite the 90-degree angle. So that's actually our hypotenuse here. So this side here is C, and then these two sides here are A or B. So if I say this is A and this is B, then I get to set up my Pythagorean theorem. So 5 squared plus 7 squared equals, and since I don't know the hypotenuse here, I'm going to say x squared. So when I add these up, I would have a 25 plus a 49 equals x squared. So x squared, when I add these two together, gives me a 74. Now, if I go ahead and I want to get rid of something squared, we have to do the inverse operation. Well, that's a square root. So I would say x is the square root of 74. All right. Now, I know during the year we might have simplified these radicals, but we're going to leave it as square root of 74 for this video. Or if you really want to, you can write out the decimal approximation, which would be 8.6. All right. Now, if we go ahead, this is a word problem, but it works the same way. And the important thing about getting through this week, you guys, is we are practicing the Pythagorean theorem this week. So when you see a word problem, the very first thing I want you to do is let's go ahead and just draw out our right triangle. And so here we have a ladder leaning against a building. So let's visualize that. We're going to have a ladder right here. This is our ladder leaning against a building. So we have our building over here. Okay, now the bottom of the ladder is 6 feet from the building. So this would be the bottom of the ladder. This would be the building. So we have our 6 feet here. The top of the ladder reaches the wall at a height of 8 feet. So now I have my 8 here. How long is the ladder? So sometimes if you're not sure where to plug stuff in, I like to look at what the question is asking because how long the ladder is has to be here where we drew our ladder. So this is the same setup where I don't know the hypotenuse. So I'm going to say 8 squared plus 6 squared equals x squared. So I would have a 64 plus 36 equals x squared. So x squared equals 100. Now, remember, in order to get rid of something being squared, we have to take a square root of both sides. So x would be 10. So this is how you solve for the hypotenuse using the Pythagorean theorem, when you know the two legs, but you're missing the hypotenuse.